Huh? I'm in a movie review? I mean, if I'm a real movie, then why is there nobody? Why is there no audiences? Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Stews here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I am going to be doing a review on Jumanji: The Next Level. So, Jumanji: The Next Level is the third installment in the Jumanji franchise, and a follow up to Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, and it came out in the year 2019, aka the best year ever, and it's directed once again by Jake Kasdan, and it stars Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillian, Jack Black, Nick Jonas, Aquafina, Alex Wolff, Morgan Turner, Madison Isman, C. Darius Blaine, Danny DeVito, Danny Glover, Rice Darby, Colin Hanks, Rory McCann, etc. And so the film tells a story taking place a few years after the events of Welcome to the Jungle, where the gang have now split up due to their personal lives. Like they chose to live their own lives. Bethany is on vacation. Bethany is on vacation. Fridge and Martha. Well, I'm not sure. They were just you know living their own regular lives. I guess I'm not sure what exactly they were doing. While Spencer was in college in New York, and he is trying to get home for the holidays. By the way, yeah, perfect idea to use to give the Christmas setting since this movie released in Christmas. Well, just saying. Yeah. So, but then Spencer is actually living a hard life because he decided to take a break from being dating Martha due to his college life and his moving to New York, and yeah, he basically moves in with his grandfather for the holidays. Grandpa Eddie, played by Danny DeVito. But considering how difficult Spencer's life was, he begins to miss Jumanji, due to how his due to how Dr. Smoller Bravestone has helped them has helped him make him who he is today. So he decides to go back in the game to relive the life of Dr. Smolder Bravestone. But when the other people in the members of the gang, when his friends find out that Spencer went back into Jumanji, they decide to go back into Jumanji to rescue Spencer. While mistakenly bringing in Milo and Eddie, the two old men, making things harder for Fridge, and Martha and Bethany gets left behind for some reason. So now they must complete a new level where they have to save Jumanji from Jurgen the Brutal, a new enemy, while finding Spencer. Spencer, who regrets going back to Jumanji due to the fact that he went inside into a body of a new character, and the game has some upgrades to it. So yeah, now if you guys haven't really been caught up with my Jumanji reviews, including my review of Welcome to the Jungle, I am reviewing these both of the Jumanji movies in preparation for Red One, because Red One is from the same director, and I am actually going to be seeing Red One today in theaters. Now, I am not over the moon hyped about it. I wouldn't go that far, but I am still optimistic about it. I want it to be fun, and I am ignoring the bad reviews around Tomatoes. I know people. I get people's point that Red One does look like a Netflix film, but still, at least it looks fun, and the best I'm hoping for is fun. But yeah, anyways, yeah. As for this film, yeah. Now, just to recap on my thoughts on the previous film, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle was one of the most shockingly good movies I've ever seen, because that movie would have sucked ass, but it turned out to be a lot of fun. And not only is it a great film, it's my favorite Jumanji movie. And well, due to the fact that Welcome to the Jungle was a success, they made a follow up to it and another Jumanji movie in 2019. Now, I gotta be honest, I was actually not looking forward to this film. I was actually skeptical about it. Reason why is because I just did not think that Jumanji movie needed a sequel, especially that soon of a sequel. That soon to be greenlit. Yeah, and even the trailer had me skeptical because it looked like it was just going to be the exact same thing as the first one. Like, they go back in the games, they must complete a new level, and it was just going to be all so formulaic and all that stuff. So yeah, I was not really looking forward to this one. But unlike the first film, I was like at least hoping that this film would surprise you. Yeah. And although and yeah, despite this movie being the same as the first film, yeah, just like with that, which I'll get to later in the review, I had the exact same theatrical cinema experience with this one. Because once again, I saw this film in IMAX. Yeah, IMAX. Yeah, I wish I saw the Jumanji movies in 4D because at the very least, these Jumanji movies do look 4D worthy, I will say. Yeah, but also unlike the original Jumanji, I actually had no choice but to see it in IMAX. Reason why is because this film came out during my local film festival. No, not the one I'm going to on Saturday, but yeah, what I mean by local film festival is, well, usually a thing that happens yearly in like this and Christmas where they show all Filipino movies competing for the Philippine Film Festival called the Metro Manila Film Festival. And yeah, so yeah, this movie was actually playing at the time when the Metro Manila Film Festival, or MMFF, was going, and usually they would show at least one or two blockbusters in IMAX. So I had no choice but to watch this in IMAX. And believe it or not, guys, this theater, the theater I went to, they actually showed played Frozen 2, my favorite movie, at the same time. Like, as in, like, while I was waiting for my showing of this, the theater I was in was like playing Frozen 2, and I saw audiences watching Frozen 2 come out of it and just talking about it. And yeah, so there's that. And yeah, I had no choice. I mean, yeah, these Jumanji movies, they suck in IMAX. I don't even know why they play these movies in IMAX. They do not scream IMAX whatsoever. And I think these Jumanji movies would be much easier to watch in a regular theater. But, oh well, it is what it is. Now, yes, guys, I did like this movie after seeing it. Yeah, I actually ended up liking it. And although it's no surprise because if Welcome to the Jungle can surprise me by how good it ends up being, then so can Jumanji the next level. But yeah, now as for my thoughts on the film on rewatching it last night, it's still good. I think it's still a good movie. However, I don't think it's a great movie. Yes, guys, I like the movie. I think it's a good movie, but it's not a great movie. And I think it's certainly a step down from Welcome to the Jungle. Now, if you guys know me super well, you probably know that I am a sucker for sequels that are bigger than its predecessor. And but how constantly the sequels that I call better than its predecessor are the ones that are bigger. So it may seem like that I actually do have a bias towards them, but you know the saying, bigger does not mean better. And Jumanji the Next Level is a perfect example of bigger does not mean better. Yes, it is bigger. While it is bigger in scale than Welcome to the Jungle, it is a downgrade in quality. But I will say that I do prefer this slightly more than the original Jumanji from 1995. Yeah, so if I were to rank the Jumanji movies from best to worst, it would be number one. Number one, Welcome to the Jungle. Number two, The Next Level, and the original Jumanji is the weakest one. Now, going into my problems first with it, the biggest issue I had with the film is the story. It's literally the exact same story as its predecessor, making this feel kind of unnecessary. Now, I will give it that there were at least new things added to it, new elements, but I will get to them later. But even if with the a few upgrades to it, ultimately the premise of it and the flow of the story, it's literally the same as the first film. They get sucked into the game. They first land into a jungle, and then they and then the main character is bigger and argue about the characters they chose, and then they get they and then we get who's that guy again? Nigel, yeah. Nigel comes to them. He tells them their mission, and then the letters and Doctor Smolder Bravestone's hand. That even though he isn't aware, and he's like so confused on what the hell's going on, he reads it as a cutscene. There's a narration, and then they get dropped off into a place where they get chased by something, and then they do the missions, and in the end they stop the villain. There's a dance fight with literally the exact same song. Oh baby, yeah, like that. Like, oh baby, I love you, yeah, like that. And then and then it's like they get out of the game by calling the name Jumanji. They shake Nigel's hand, and then they get back in the game, and it's literally the same flow as the original. The third act went completely off the rails and loses the fun of the first two acts due to how rushed and anticlimactic it is. That the final battle was far too quick. Especially with Doctor Smolder Bravestone versus Jurgen the Brutal. Yeah, that was way too quick due to how Bravestone defeats defeats Jurgen far too easily. And freaking Jurgen. Oh dear God. Honestly, guys, Jurgen the Brutal is the absolute worst Jumanji villain to me. He is beyond forgettable and is basically a nobody. At least Welcome to the Jungles of Van Belt, Bobby Cannavale's Van Belt was a villain who I didn't remember, even if he was a mediocre villain. But the worst scene in the film, and probably the biggest problem in the film, besides the story, has to be the decision to make Milo and Eddie separate. Two partners who were together. Yeah, sure, they did have their beef with each other, but you know what actually happens to them? Yeah, I'm sure you know if you've seen the film. Milo freaking separated from Eddie because he loved the game so much that he wanted to start a new life inside the game, especially instead of coming back to the real world. And then we get this emotionally manipulative, good boy, oh boo-hoo, I'm going to miss you. Go, you gotta get emotional from this. I was not a fan of the decision. And was it with 2019 that 2019 and it's cliched cliched ending trope where two characters who loved each other as separate. First, Woody separating from the Gandaby and Bobby with Toy Story 4. Then Elsa and Anna separating in Frozen 2. Which, by the way, that one clearly, obviously, did it the best when it comes to execution. And now Milo and Eddie separating because Milo wants to stay in Jumanji. Boy. Oh, and also the constant references to and callbacks to Welcome to the Jungle. The movie keeps on reminding viewers about about the things in Welcome to the Jungle. Oh, hey guys, remember when we did this? Remember when this happened? Remember this thing? Remember what was this all about? Blah blah blah. Yeah. But even despite the story being like the same as the first film, at the very least, it's a good movie. Yeah. I don't wanna immediately like dismiss it as a bad movie. Yeah, just because it's the same thing. At the very least, the movie does recapture the fun of Welcome to the Jungle, because I had fun with this one, even if not as much as the last film. There were some areas where this movie actually improved on from the first, yeah. Especially with some of the things I was not a fan of from like Welcome to the Jungle. One example being the build up to the games. Yeah, I'm sure you know that I had a lot of problems with like how Welcome to the Jungle like built up to the main characters getting sucked into the games. But this one, I think the way they handled it better with the showing like how the gang was separated due to personal lives, and now they want to get back together, but Spencer has problems and he was insecure, and he decided to go back to the games because he wanted to feel like he wanted to be Dr. Spoiler Bravestone again, because that's the life that he wants, and he's not the same in the real world. Yeah. And another thing that this film improved, like fixed from Welcome to the Jungle, is Dwayne Johnson's performance. Yeah, I think Dwayne Johnson's performance was my biggest issue with Welcome to the Jungle, because it's literally just another Dwayne Johnson performance where he just plays himself in a bland way. But I think Dwayne Johnson actually did try to be different this time around, mainly due to how he's inside the body of Milo. I mean, sorry, Eddie. I keep mistaking the two, but Eddie is the Danny DeVito character who was Spencer's grandfather. But considering that Dwayne Johnson is Smolder Bravestone is in no, I mean Eddie is inside Bravestone's body. Dwayne Johnson really had to pull off that old man like. And I gotta say, he actually really did a really good job of portraying Eddie and like acting like an old man in general, and you really feel that, and you can really feel that they are that there is an old person inside his body. Kevin Hart, same thing with Kevin Hart. Although I did give him a pass in the first film, he was better in this one. Yeah, especially when he also was carrying an old person inside his body. He had to act like an old person, and yeah, I gotta say, Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart were hilarious here, and yeah, both Danny DeVito and Don Glover were nice additions to the franchise, and they both provided twice the humor that the previous one had. And yeah, the humor in this one landed just as well as the previous one. Oh, and also I should give a shout out to that cameo of Dr. Smolder Bravestone's father in the cutscene, where Dwayne Johnson actually played him. Yeah, and not only is he Dwayne Johnson, but Dwayne Johnson with long hair, not really long, but big thick hair, and a thick mustache. Yeah, the most distant Dwayne Johnson performance I've ever seen. What I mean by that is like distant from Dwayne Johnson's usual self. We need more Dwayne Johnson roles like this, like that. Yeah, seriously. Karen Gillian and Jeff Black and Nick Jonas were also good in this one, but not as good as they were in the first one. I'm not even sure if I would still consider Ruby Roundhouse to be my favorite character in this one. Actually, you know what? Yeah, she's still my favorite. Ruby Roundhouse is still my favorite character, but I mean, not as good as she was in the first film. And Aquafina was also a decent addition to the franchise. Yeah, say what you want about Aquafina herself being annoying, but I thought that she was never annoying in this one, and this is actually one of her better roles. She did a really great job portraying a character portraying Spencer inside his avatar's body. Well, even though it turned out to be gender swap, just like with Bethany and Professor Shelley Oberon. And you can really feel Spencer inside Ming Fleetfoot's body, and yeah, I think Aquafina did a really good job like acting like Spencer and making you believe that making you like see Spencer in her. And then there came the body swap, avatar swap, which I will admit, the avatar swap, the premise to like swap avatars by diving into a pool of green acid was actually the most unique thing about the film, the most unique elements. And yeah, they did go back to their actual selves like they were in the first film, like their original avatars. But then yeah, with Eddie going inside Ming Fleetfoot's body, honestly guys, I was not a fan of Aquafina's portrayal as an old person. Yeah, since Eddie is in her avatar now, she had to act like an old person and try to like nail that old person persona as much as Dwayne Johnson did. But honestly, guys, I did not feel it. Feel like Aquafina like trying to portray an old person. Yeah, she was still playing herself. Like even after, even with Eddie on her body, and yeah, yeah. So that was another issue I had with this film. The action scenes were great as well. I really enjoyed them, especially in the middle act where they were at this bazaar and Dwayne Johnson Johnson like fought against an army, and yeah, that was that was that was fun. And that fight at the diner place with the dance fight it's actually it's I would say it's as cool as it was in the first film, yeah, but maybe not as badass. Although yes, like what I said earlier, this film did have one action scene that I did not like, and that was the final battle as Dr. Bravestone versus Jurgen the Brutal. Yeah, that was a pretty lackluster action scene right there. But yeah. Oh, and another aspect that this movie improved on from Welcome to the Jungle was the visuals. Yeah, if you guys remember, Welcome to the Jungle had some pretty spotty CGI and green screen effects. It's not great, but I would say this movie did improve on its visuals. Not like super special or anything. The visual effects are nothing really special, but at least I had no problems with it. Like I did not see any spotty CGI and green screen effects in this one. So overall, Jumanji: The Next Level may be slightly unnecessary due to the story being a rehash of Welcome to the Jungle, and it's had other problems as well. But it still retains the fun and charm of Welcome to the Jungle, and it was enough for me to let the rehash story slide just for this film. However, for the next Jumanji movie, Jumanji 4, coming in December 2026, that was recently announced, I don't want that movie to be another Welcome to the Jungle rehash. Please do something fresh and new to the franchise. Well, at least the ending of this film did set up a different story. As we saw the ostriches from the games that come into the real world. So I guess there should be a story there. I don't want another another attempt at going back in the games and doing another mission that's going to be formulaic as hell. Yeah, please don't do that. So with that said, guys, I'm going to give Jumanji: The Next Level a 3.5 stars out of 5. Good movie. So also for my review of Jumanji: The Next Level, what are your thoughts on the film? Would you agree with me that this movie is a step down from Welcome to the Jungle, but better than the first film? Would you consider this as your favorite Jumanji movie, or do you think that this is the weakest Jumanji movie? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review on Red 1. And yes, guys, I will do a full review of Red 1. So yeah, bye guys.